The United States government conducts targeted lethal strikes against individuals overseas using remotely piloted aircraft. In 2012, White House counterterrorism advisor John Brennan publicly detailed the legality of these strikes. However, he carefully avoided linking the program specifically to the Central Intelligence Agency. When journalists submit Freedom of Information Act requests seeking proof of these CIA operations, the agency provides a standard, frustrating reply, refusing even to confirm or deny that the records exist. This maneuver is known as the Glomar Response. It was developed in 1975 to manage the diplomatic fallout from a massive deep-sea heist. In March 1968, the Soviet K-129 submarine suffered a catastrophic implosion. It settled 16,000 feet deep on the floor of the North Pacific, far beyond the reach of conventional recovery technology. The CIA targeted the wreck because it contained intact nuclear-tipped ballistic missiles and the Soviet Union's most sensitive cryptographic hardware. U.S. acoustic networks had found the site, but lifting a 40 million-pound mass from 3 miles below the surface was a feat of engineering that had never been attempted in human history. To explain the construction of a massive recovery ship, the CIA needed a civilian front. They partnered with eccentric billionaire Howard Hughes. The agency invented an entirely fake industry for the project: deep-sea manganese nodule mining. This cover story allowed for the construction of the Hughes Glomar Explorer, a massive vessel featuring a central derrick designed for unprecedented heavy lifting. A dedicated PR shop fed mining stories to the press, using the flashy celebrity of Howard Hughes to hide the mechanical engineering happening inside the hull. The ship's secret was its moon pool, a center well protected by 9-foot-thick doors. It was designed to pull the Soviet submarine entirely inside the ship, hiding it from satellite view and Soviet surveillance. Reaching the wreck required lowering a tapered steel pipe string 3 miles down. At this length, the pipe faced extreme axial stress. It stretched under its weight and resonated with surface waves, creating dynamic forces that threatened to snap the steel in half. Solving these limits of physics was the only way to reach the wreck without the entire lifting mechanism failing. By July 1974, the Glomar Explorer was positioned over the wreck, but it was being actively stalked by the Soviet intelligence ship CCB-33. The crew maintained the mining cover until the Soviets moved off. This gave them the window to lower the capture vehicle, grasp the submarine, and begin lifting. Mid-lift, the plan fell apart. The steel claws snapped under the immense load, and 2/3 of the Soviet submarine plummeted back to the seafloor. The crew only recovered the front section. It contained 2 nuclear torpedoes and secret Soviet codebooks, and the bodies of 6 submariners. While the heist was a partial mechanical success, the real crisis for the CIA was about to begin on land. Before the CIA could return for the rest of the sub, journalist Jack Anderson uncovered the story and broke the cover in the national press. The CIA was immediately hit with a flood of Freedom of Information Act requests from reporters demanding the mission's secret files. The agency was in a legal trap. Admitting the records existed would be a formal confession to stealing a Soviet vessel, a potential act of war. But denying the records existed when they clearly did would be a violation of federal law. To navigate this no-win situation, CIA lawyers engineered an entirely new legal doctrine. They formally refused to confirm or deny that the requested documents even existed. Federal courts eventually upheld this answer, officially establishing the Glomar Response as a valid legal protection for classified information. This precedent provides the legal framework the government uses to keep modern operations, like the targeted drone program, outside the public record. The physical Glomar Explorer was eventually retired and scrapped, but the legal secret it created remains one of the government's most effective shields.